All right, welcome to episode 2 of the Commander's Vlog. It's a vlog that is documenting my struggle and grind, just my story of coming from 2 years of casual streaming all the way to hopefully professional level, professional pay. So I know I said this was going to be a Monday deal, and I know I said it was going to be an every other week deal. This week, there's so much stuff that happened that I was like, this is pretty normal. It's a typical week, and I'm going to forget shit if I go every other week. So we're going to shoot for weekly, and it's going to be a Monday or Tuesday deal. Monday is actually my day off, one of my 2 days off. I have Sunday and I have Monday. More often than not, I do work on those days in addition to, they're not actual days off. It's days that I don't broadcast and don't go to the restaurant. More often than not, I have a bunch of household work that needs to be done, and I have a bunch of, behind the scenes work that needs to be done. This weekend, I actually went ahead and took the time off. So I didn't do shit. Like, Julia and I went grocery shopping, and that was the most work that I did on that Sunday and Monday, which was phenomenal. It was fantastic for me as as a person. It actually kind of segues into one of the topics that I wanted to bring forth today, and that is the work-life balance, to use the common vernacular. That balance between busting ass and getting shit done. And oh man, I'm supposed to be trying to keep this PG. Well, you know what? Screw it. Fuck it. With YouTube's new monetization deal, there's basically no way I'm gonna be able to monetize these vlogs. And if at some point I do end up at the point where I could possibly be getting monetization, then I'll fucking tone it down. Anyway, work-life balance. Well, you know what? Let's try this. We're going to go over an overview. So there's a few topics that I'm going to go over this week. First one we're going to touch on is the work-life balance. Then we're going to touch on a couple of things I got at PAX South. Just show those off because they're awesome. We're going to talk about my internet situation. We're going to talk about where I'm at with Whole30, which if you don't know is a diet plan that is not designed for you to lose weight. It's designed to eliminate inflammatory foods, stuff that makes your body react in negative manners, even if it's a tiny bit. So we're going to go over where I'm at in Whole30, and we're going to touch on some exciting new content that a buddy of mine is working on for the channel. By the way, what you're hearing in the background, well, let me check the levels. Sorry, gotta put my headphones on real quick. Oh, I can hardly hear that. Let's make this negative 18. Nah, it's still too low. Okay, that's gonna be better. Something to kind of fill the in between. Yeah, we're gonna make it just a little louder. There. Okay. So, I'm actually, the guy that's working on that content that I'm excited about is James Flamestar. He's J Flamestar on Twitch. Definitely go drop a follow on him. He's a music creator, and he is phenomenal. Like, quite literally, he's probably my favorite artist. Even if I didn't know him, on a personal level, if I wasn't friends with him. In fact, to begin with, I wasn't. I found him and just fell in love with his music. So what you're hearing in the background is courtesy of James. I was trying to figure out what I was going to do as far as YouTube appropriate music, because a lot of the stuff that I have, although I'm licensed to use it on Twitch, I'm not licensed to use it on YouTube. So James popped into my head and I was like, hell yeah, rock some James Flamestar in this. So anyway, that's going to be our overview. Work life, show you the swag, talk about internet, Whole30, and then the new content. So right back into the work-life balance. I said I took those 2 days off where I didn't do anything. I literally probably had not done that in 2 or 3 months, maybe 4 months. Not 2 days in a row, at least. I think in the December time frame, prior to Matt's passing, I took a day and just didn't do anything. And I gotta be honest with you, I'm apparently a little addicted to completing things, to what's the term I'm looking for here? I'm a little addicted to productivity, as it turns out. Didn't know that. Something I've never had before in my life. To be fair though, before broadcasting, I didn't have anything I loved like this, you know, job-wise in my life. So it makes some sense. But it's hugely important that you find that work-life balance. That said, don't use it as an excuse. If you're trying to become the best broadcaster you can be, if you're trying to make a living at it, if you're trying to become the best welder, the best entrepreneur, the best freaking balloon animal artist that you can be, if you're striving for a goal that's out there, you cannot use work-life balance as an excuse. Using that as an excuse is just, it's an indicator of your lack of commitment. So that's why I bring up that I hadn't taken, you know, a true bona fide day off in probably 3 or 4 months, with the potential outlier of sometime in December. Is that too much? I would say for a lot of people that is too much. For me, I'm gonna try. Where I sacrifice is usually sleep. I usually get about 6 to 7 hours of sleep a night. Averaged, you know, there are those nights where I get like 10, like the past 2 nights I got, well, not past 2 nights, the 2 nights prior to last night, I got 10 hours of sleep each night. And then there are those nights where I get like 4 hours of sleep. So you got to find what's right for you, what works for you. Honestly, I have got to start getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep consistently, because when I take those days where I just do nothing, those very rare days, I will literally sleep until I have to get up, you know, until I need to eat, or until I have to pee so badly that I got to get out of bed. And, you know, when you get out of bed in the middle of the afternoon to pee, you're just not going to be able to go back to bed unless you got blackout curtains in your room. So I recognized over these 2 days that I'm not getting enough sleep, that my sleep debt, what I owe my body in rest, in an actual unconscious rest, is mounting, and it's going to become a problem soon. So I'm going to be striving to take at least one of those days every month. I feel like that's going to probably work out. That in conjunction with 7 to 8 hours of sleep consistently, I think I'll be good. My wife needs about an hour and a half, 2 hours more sleep per night than I do. Like I need this much sleep. Like I need 6 hours of sleep. Need it to function. She needs like 7 to 8 hours of sleep. So it's different for everyone. That's what I'm saying. As far as, you know, cheating sleep to get more done. So work-life balance, I just encourage you to make your health a priority, particularly if you are pursuing something like broadcasting. If you want to be a broadcaster, if you want to be someone in the public eye, a personality that is engaging enough to have people, you know, say, hey, look, I found this guy and I'm gonna, or gal, and I'm gonna come back and watch him or her again. So if you're aspiring to be that, and you look fucking tired as shit, and your energy level is low, and you just can't focus, and, you know, it's not like a normal can't focus, because I mean sometimes that's just how things are, but if it's like a obviously tired can't focus, then clearly you need to rein in the work that you're doing, the time that you're awake, get more sleep, get more rest. Also in these 2 days, just having those 2 days where I didn't think about work, I didn't work at all. Well, I tried my best not to think about work. I felt more calm and at peace than I have in months. So work life, it's important. Figure it out for yourself. You're gonna have to play around with it. You're gonna fucking miss the mark huge, like massively, the first time you try and, you know, schedule work-life balance. You're gonna have too much time off, or you're gonna have, you know, not enough sleep, or too much time working. But it's super important to figure out. Okay, so work-life balance was number one. I want to show you a couple of things that oh no, Julia put it away. I love her for cleaning, but sometimes it doesn't go to plan. So I can show you one thing, and I'll have to run and grab the other real quick. So this, let's see if I can, is that gonna come through at all? There, you see where the light's coming through, you know, at the tip of the 4 there? When you hold it up to a light, which I'm not gonna be able to do for y'all. So this is oh shoot, something quartz. It's it might be rose quartz, sapphire quartz, something like that. But it looks like when you hold it up to the light, or it catches light, it looks like it's like luminescent from the inside. So it's a D6, and it's a precision cut, you know, machine cut D6 for D&D that I'm going to be starting this Sunday. First ever time playing D&D. I wanted to stream, you know, my D&D virginity being lost, but unfortunately, the group I'm playing with, a lot of them are new to the game, just like myself, and a little uncomfortable with, you know, putting themselves out there on the internet, in addition to putting themselves out there outside their comfort zone. So let me run real quick and grab the last thing, the second thing I want to show y'all, and then we'll keep on going down the list. Alright, so this bad boy right here, this is from MetaThreads. It's a bomber jacket. It looks way cooler in person, I assure you, but it's got this Velcro spot on each arm for patches. I'm gonna see if I can get a rubber patch made of the Viking VOD logo, or maybe the helmet. And then on the back, it's got my name. So it's a windbreaker, nothing super special. It's got one pocket on the inside, but it's a really high quality windbreaker. I have a friend who actually works for MetaThreads. She works the booths. Her Twitch handle is Cuddly Ninja, so she does some broadcasting. Definitely check her out if you get the opportunity, but she hooked me up with that. Wasn't free. Hell, I didn't even get a discount, but she was the one that was like, hey, you'd look good in this, so you ought to come check it out. So thank you to her for that. So that's what I got. This is swag I got at PAX South. And then I also, no, I discussed that last stream. Okay, I should have covered that last vlog, but I totally spaced on it. So let's talk internet real quick. For those of y'all that know, you know my internet situation. If you aren't familiar with my internet situation, I live in rural Texas. So I live in the middle of nowhere, Texas. And right now I have what's called line of sight internet. And basically there's the tower, and then there is, you know, my house that has a little receiver on it. And those literally have to be able to see each other to work. There's no cable that comes to our house, be it copper or fiber optic. It's kind of like Wi-Fi, but super directionalized, and it's from a tiny provider who actually buys from Spectrum Internet. They buy in bulk from Spectrum and then resell that to our area. So the ISP that I have right now is garbage. If you ever watch my live streams, it's potato quality, and the reason it's potato quality is because my upload is so inconsistent that I can't count on having, you know, 2000 bitrate. I have to stream at 1600 bitrate, and even then I will from time to time drop frames. So my internet's shit, basically. But I actually gave an old ISP of mine, a different ISP, a call, and was basically like, hey, I heard rumors that y'all are upgrading your equipment. Is that true? They said, yeah, that's true. And then told them, you know, what I do, and that I'd love to give my current ISP the finger and switch over to them. And right now I'm paying $115 a month. So $115 is fucking ridiculous, especially, like, I know there's probably 2 or 3 of y'all that are like, oh yeah, I spend $115 on internet. I get a whopping 8 download on average, and like 2 upload on average. And I have a throttle threshold of 700 gigabytes a month. So if I go over 700 gigabytes, then my internet gets throttled to 6 download and 0.95 upload. So yeah, basically I'm getting bent over on that. But it was the only provider in the area that would allow me to do streaming at all. Every other provider, including the old provider that I have that I had just contacted, that's upgrading all of their hardware, they had a maximum upload of 2 Mbps. So that's untenable. You can't do that, because that's their upper end, you know, that's their maximum, which means in reality you get more like 1.3, 1.5 on average. So anyway, I call this my old provider. They say, yeah, we're upgrading stuff, and I tell them what I do, and he's immediately like, we actually have a couple of people that do that already on our service. It's something we can work with, and this upgrade is the big thing. The reason they're having to upgrade stuff is they're purchasing private bandwidth. So there's public bandwidth for sending signals, and that's what every line of sight provider out here is using, is that public bandwidth. And the problem with that is when you got 2 things going on the same bandwidth, they'll cause interference and bump into each other, for lack of a better way of putting it. And so that's why you'll occasionally just have it like fucking tank and then come back up. So them leasing private bandwidth means, best case scenario, they're the only ones in the area using that bandwidth. So you're going to have much more consistent service, and, realistic scenario, they're one of very few in the area that are leasing that bandwidth. And so you're again going to have more consistent service. And so thankfully I was talking to a very, very knowledgeable sales rep, and he actually knew that they were upgrading everything. He knew everything about, he knew the technical side because he used to be a technician. Or maybe he is a technician and a sales rep, I don't know. But he then goes so far as to say, we can likely basically trade your bandwidth. So instead of it being 25 down and 5 up, we could reallocate some of your down, so you're getting like 20 down and 10 up. So that looks really positive. Then 2 days later, I'm driving down my road, and I've been noticing that they're digging up, they're trenching on the side of the road. This happened a few times. There's been a few expansions on our road, so it's usually phone lines, stuff like that. And I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna stop and ask them, stop and ask the guys that are doing the trenching, hey, do you know what you're trenching for? And they're like, oh yeah, this is Spectrum Internet. We're running Spectrum Internet cable. And I'm like, wow, okay. You wouldn't happen to know like how far you're running it, would you? And he was like, oh yeah, all the way to the end of this road, down like 4 roads that branch off of it, and then up the road that it tees into. So that goes right past my house, which means I'm gonna have access to Spectrum internet. Who knows when? Because I don't know how Spectrum does things. I don't know if they run the entire line first and then offer service, or if it's like if you see the trench go by your house, you can get Spectrum. So I'm gonna give them a call. I'd actually planned to give them a call today, but then I slept in. So I'm gonna give them a call, see what's up, which is good and bad. My old ISP, my old provider, hopefully I can get them to work with me to get something that's much better than what I have right now, and not have to sign a contract, because if I have to sign a contract, I'm not going to right now, because I know Spectrum is coming, and there's no way they're going to be laying copper line. They're going to be laying fiber, which means I'll have, you know, probably have access to their 100 up, 100 down package at like $65. So that's super exciting. So in the future, my streams are going to look as good as my uploads. So that's that. Whole 30. So Whole 30. Oh my gosh. If you really want to learn more about it, look it up. There's some opponents as well as proponents, obviously. But the worst that the opponents of it can say is, you know, it's not sustainable, which is absolutely true, and it's not supposed to be sustainable. You're not supposed to eat the way you do in that 30-day window for the rest of your life. That's not the idea. The idea is to reintroduce things slowly so that I know how wheat affects me. I know how rice affects me. I know how dairy affects me. I know what sugar does to me, and I know what, you know, different forms of sugar do to me personally. The idea is to be at the end of the 30-day period, and then the realistically 30 to 60-day period where you're reintroducing things that were cut out in that 30-day period. You want to keep a log, quite literally a diary, of, okay, so today I had bread and I felt lethargic for about an hour after it, and, you know, I had a really bad shit. Like, that's the legitimate stuff. That's I'm not doing that for like, oh, what? No, like, that's legitimately what you do. So Whole 30, we're on day, let's see, I think today is day 7, so we're a week in, and honestly, I haven't had that much cravings. I haven't had that many issues with it. To be fair, I eat very little to begin with. I probably eat what would be equivalent to about a meal a day, as is, you know, before Whole 30. There's 2 things that are really just bugging the fuck out of me about Whole 30. Number 1 is I like diversity in what I drink. I love water. I'll drink water mainly, but I like to have a soda or, you know, fruit juice. Like, you can't have fruit juice because you don't get the fiber from the fruit that helps your body deal with the sugar that you're taking in. So you can't have fruit juice, you can't have alcohol, you can't have soda. You can have like infused waters, and that's where I see like LaCroix. You can have Hint, but honestly, those don't have much flavor. It's just, and I think if they had a lot of flavor without the sweet, they wouldn't taste good at all. I think that's why they don't have much flavor. So there's the number 1 thing that's bothering me is just, it's water, or water that kind of tastes like, you know, lime or pineapple or lemon, and that's bugging the shit out of me. Then the second thing that's killing me with Whole 20 is how much work it is. Because I can't have sugar, I can't have any sort of grain, I can't have rice, I can't have dairy. That's pretty much everything I can't have. You know, I can't have highly processed foods. So I think Oreos actually adhere to like almost everything on that list. Say they did, they're highly processed, so I couldn't have those. And you're also supposed to cut out, you know, bad habits. Like if you're a junk food snacker, then you're supposed to recognize, hey, I snack on junk food throughout the day, and instead of switching to healthy snacks, just cut out snacking altogether. So it's an incredible amount of thinking, planning, and work. Literally these 7 days, we have not eaten out once because it's nigh impossible just from the sugar aspect to eat at a fast food restaurant, a sit down and eat restaurant, and not accidentally consume something you shouldn't on this, you know, 30-day detox period. So just the sheer amount of work that this is just mind-blowing. The bright side is I'm getting to cook. I'm being forced to cook. I like to cook, but with the restaurant and then streaming, I haven't been able to cook much. So it's forcing me to cook, which is a positive, but it's also a negative in that I've been getting less done with the broadcast, which hurts a little bit. But yeah, those are the two things that are really, really hitting me. I haven't really had any specific cravings for anything in particular. Julia's having a little bit harder time. She'll be the first one to tell you that she's got a bit of a sugar dragon. She's got an addiction to sugar, and she'll also be the first one to tell you that she's, you know, she kind of eats based on mood, which I don't. I just don't eat. So Whole 30 is going pretty well. I think we're finally at the point where we've kind of got a handle on, yeah, we have to cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I think we're going to be able to make it through all 30 days without issue. So Whole 30, I'm going to keep y'all apprised on how Whole 30 is going, because it's an experience and I'd like to document that as well. That way, you know, if you're considering it, then maybe you would check this out and be like, hey, okay, maybe, yeah, it's something I could do. So the last little thing, the thing that's super fucking exciting to me, that I've just been hyped about. If you follow me on Twitter, I've been tweeting about it. James Flamestar is actually making me a new intro and like 8 jingles. So all of my like host sounds, raid sounds, tipping sounds, like cheering sounds, all those alerts are gonna be from him, derivative of the new intro song that he's making me. And I gotta tell you, this intro song, I shit you not, I listened to it yesterday. He sent me a draft, one of the first drafts. Listened to it yesterday one time and was like, holy shit, that's amazing. And then we proceed to get ready. I probably listened to 30 minutes of other music that's on my Spotify, you know, songs I've liked. And in that time frame, there were like 4 or 5 songs that get stuck in my head like nobody's business. When we left the house to go shopping, my intro was stuck in my head. James is like a fucking genius. James is a genius. So I'm super excited. That's moving along quickly. Y'all are gonna have your earballs tickled, as James would say, here probably. I'm tentatively within the next week. And I mean, what I've been hearing is a draft. It hasn't even been mastered yet. So it's gonna get even better, which is just like, so when that happens, obviously, when if you're watching the vlog, then at the beginning of the vlog, when it's got that splash screen, it's gonna be that song that's playing. And when I open my broadcast, it's going to be that song that's playing. Speaking of which, I'm actually 8 minutes into when I should be live right now. We're at 30 minutes. So, if you haven't already, if you're enjoying the vlog, somehow you found it on YouTube, smack the subscribe button. I'm going to keep doing this. It's cathartic, if nothing else. So I'm definitely going to keep doing it. Definitely check out James Flamestar. I'm going to have a link in the info section to his channel on both Twitch and YouTube. His Twitch channel, as well as his Bandcamp, not Bandcamp, SoundCloud, Bandcamp, wherever it is you can purchase his music. And is there anything else I needed to link to? No, that's gonna be it. All right, guys. Let's see. That didn't work. Why didn't that work? We're gonna go right there. Y'all have. Ooh, okay, hold on. Okay, that's working now. Y'all have a great rest of your week. I'll see you in the vlog back here next Monday or Tuesday. Stay tuned. Also, you can follow me on Twitch at, well, I'll link that. Why not, right? So that'll be in the info section as well. I stream Monday through Tuesday, or sorry, not Monday, Tuesday through Saturday from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. See y'all later. I'm gonna get it. There it is.